Hi there, we're introducing a new activity into BinocuFit. It's called BinocuDepth. This is a new way of training that depth perception for really developing an increased ability to make fine depth discrimination judgments. We ask a lot of our patients, can you fuse, can you converge, can you appreciate stereopsis, but what can come after they say that they can? We ask a different question. So we want to know how precisely, how consistently, how efficiently can you judge that? So we have different modes of training here, and we'll show you here in the activity. So now we have clicked on the BinocuDepth activity. You can see the brief instructions come up where we put the red lens over the right eye, and then now we're going to be sorting shapes based on their judgment, based on their depth, whether they're closest or farthest. So we have convergence, divergence, mixed time you can choose, whether they're still or moving. We can add the falling snow. And we can also have the routines where it seamlessly goes from one mode of the activity to the next if we want to do a balanced versus a convergence focused or divergence focused. So those can be chosen in recommendations for patients as well. So they seamlessly come through for the patient to go through one and then the next. So we'll just do a 4-minute convergence here. And I'm going to have the target moving and I'm going to keep the snow on. So you'll see as we begin here, we now have 3 objects floating around on the screen and we need to sort them. So as we click on them, they come down into the lower part of the screen. I'm not sure why it's not visible in this recording, but below those shapes now is a button called submit. So we can hit that submit button and it tells us, did we do it properly? So we get our shapes organized down in our bottom row. We hit submit and we go on to the next. So always remember that in that top right hand corner, we can adjust that snow. We can turn it on and off, and we can also change the transparency and the density of the snow. The snow really helps to give a reference for making those depth judgments, and also just make sure that we're not going into a tunnel vision type of processing where we have more openness in our periphery, where we have that stimulation there. So once we get the shapes down into the bottom, you can see that they're not quite right probably. So we can adjust them once they're down in the bottom. So we have to remember that whenever we're using disparity and anaglyph classes, there are cues. So a patient could try to trick the system and just kind of get them right. But if we keep the glasses on, the cancellation is really great. And, as long as they have the glasses on and they're making the decisions, then they should really be seeing the depth. But we are looking to have self-motivated patients, obviously. They can kind of self-monitor whether they're actually seeing what they need to see or not. So now we're on to level 5 and we have 4 objects. To sort. So I like this activity because it's not just asking, can we see depth? It's asking, can we make those fine judgments? And how quickly can we make those fine judgments? How efficiently are we working through this? It's a lot more about developing that precision than it is about just, can you see it popping? Where is it? Just localizing a random object, whether you can identify it or not. Here we're actually making decisions about how to interact with them. I do find that making these judgments is something that I've worked on with patients in therapy over the years. And I do feel like it really helps to bring things into the real life where we're consistently making judgments and small, teeny tiny judgments about, which step is closer. Like, how do I step over that curb? Which object is closer to me? Which car is closer to me? How am I going to navigate the world based on really precise and quick and efficient small judgments? So we can see now I'm on level 7 and I'm up to 5 objects. And while the overall vergence demand is not huge on this one, it does increase as we get into the higher levels. But again, it also increases the demand by having more objects to sort and go through. So on that beginning settings screen, remember that you could have these objects still. And they don't need to be moving around on the screen, but that movement was a suggestion of one of the early users. Somebody demoing the activity with and suggested it, so we added it. So I'm about to run out of time here, and you'll see the results screen, which now shows us, so we did a 4-minute convergence session. The highest disparity was a 1.2 base out. So like I said, not high, but it tells us how many screens we completed and our accuracy, and then how long it took per screen. So I hope you enjoy this activity to really fine tune that depth perception, and it's easily added into a recommendation, and you know where to find us. Thank you.